There's other teams that I think we're still trying to figure out. One of them being the team favored by the gentleman in the corner here. The Dallas Cowboys. TJ, I'm curious. They've clearly been producing offensively. Even yesterday they scored. But putting the entire package together. Right now they are very much a middle of the pack. They're 2-3-1. What do you make of your Cowboys right now?
It's so hard to really give you an answer on that. It's like you said, the offense is clicking, seemingly, without CD in there. Dak is playing amazing, low key, or even high key, I guess, statistically speaking. He's been great. This defense is just trash, man. It just, now Dallas fans are screaming for Eberflus to be shown the door based upon some of the defensive sets that happened yesterday. I mean, I try not to get overly emotional anymore about this team. You know what I mean? Like, these guys want me to sign this letter that gives up my fandom. And I don't want to do that. But I'm past the point in my life where, like, I'm going to let it ruin the next 48 hours of my life, which for decades it did, and it's just now I sit back and just watch and scratch my head sometime. It's the Carolina Panthers, and respectfully, you should be beating the Carolina Panthers, all right?
Rico Dowdle called his shot.
Rico is that what you're saying? Babe Dowdle? Like, he went in there and told you what was the deal, what was going to happen, and then
I'm going to be the one to beat you.
This guy run up your back, up your chest, and down your back, right? Like, man, it was a tough watch, and I don't know where the relief comes from. The back end of the defense is terrible. I don't understand how you could go from Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland looking as great as they did a few years ago to what we see every Sunday now, man. And it's just, like I said, I'm trying to remove my emotions out of this without losing it, but man, it's sad to see.
Well, let's revisit here, too, what Rico Dowdle had to say in reference to going up against his former team.
Rico, if your message last week was buckle up to the Cowboys, what's your message after the game?
They weren't buckled up.
Fantastic line.
Fantastic.
Wow. I also would have accepted they did not stop the run. That was the rallying cry after the stunning Micah Parsons trade. It was, I believe, the first thing that Jerry Jones said in an hour-long press conference, explaining why you're trading something that every team dreams of, which is a young pass rusher in his prime who's on your team, and trading him away for picks and Kenny Clark, a nose tackle. And Jerry said over and over, a big part of this trip. We didn't even talk to teams that couldn't send us a nose tackle because we need to stop the run. We haven't been able to stop the run. What happened yesterday, TJ?
The run was not stopped, Tom.
They did not stop the run. It was a lot of running. And, by the way, also not a lot of pass rush. And that's where I understand where a lot of the focus goes to Matt Eberflus in these situations. And there were questions asked after the game to Brian Schottenheimer, do you have the personnel to run the system? He said, yeah. Do the players believe in the system? That's where he said, well, that's the question. I would hope, yes. Whatever is happening here defensively, there is just a roller coaster ride that they're on. Eberflus has been a top coordinator for years. Even when he was in Chicago, people talked about how hard his defense was to go up against. And part of that was just they were so disciplined. They played so hard. They flooded to the football. I don't see that consistently right now for the Dallas Cowboys. And as much as Jerry has talked about, hey, we got all these picks. We might go out and do something. We might go out and make a move to help our team.
Who are you going to get, Jerry?
I don't know that this is the type of team right now that you're thinking you're one player away from being a factor. Now, offensively, again, I would say they've exceeded reasonable expectations. No CD Lamb.
Nope.
They scored, prior to yesterday, they scored, I believe, 77 points over the previous two games. And yesterday, they still scored 27, right?
Yep.
So you're giving yourself a chance.
Absolutely.
Offensively, I get where you could talk yourself into, hey, we're getting healthy. CD Lamb, I was told 50-50 to play this week. They're going to get Tyler Booker back in practice this week. This offense, that has been producing at a high level. And again, George Pickens has made himself as much money as anybody in the early stage of this season as a guy who is eligible for free agency. At this point, would seem like a no-brainer to franchise tag, but that's a different conversation. But are you close enough from a programmatic perspective? Do you think, you know what? We got those extra picks next year. We got an extra one next year. Let's use it now on a player that can help this team. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jerry turns 83 today. Happy birthday, Jerry. You got a loss to the Panthers as the early birthday gift. But if you're Jerry and you're looking at this 22 days out, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he wants to be aggressive. I would not be surprised at all if he sees enough offensively, culturally to say, I think we can be competitive. The Eagles have stumbled here. The Commanders, who play tonight against the Bears, they've not been perfect. The Giants are coming off the biggest win they've had in 3 years, but they're still a 2-4 football team. Why can't we put this thing together and make a run?
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, Tom, there is no one team, right, especially in NFC, that's standing out like this is the team going to the Super Bowl. So I guess in theory, yeah, right, you feel like, all right, it's still wide open, but I don't know if that's reality.
Yeah, Dallas has scored the third most points in the NFL, given up the second most.
Yeah.
The teams right now with the most wins in the NFC, as I'm just pulling this up here. All right, your top teams for wins.
Yeah, a lot of teams with 4.
The Bucs are 5-1.
Yep.
They've got all kinds of injuries, but they just week in and week out, they find a way. And incrementally here, they should be getting some people back, right, in the coming weeks. You got the Packers, who are 3-1-1 at this point. By virtue of win percentage, that's the order I'm going on here. They look like a tough team. They had a couple bad defensive games before the bye. Came back, played better yesterday. The 49ers at 4-2. Again, your best 2 players on defense are out for the season. The quarterback situation remains fluid. Purdy should be back sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh,
Mac Jones is clearly not playing at 100%, but has found ways to keep him in games. I think you saw the limitations, namely from the injury, pop up a little bit more in the game yesterday. The Eagles are 4-2, and we're talking about them like they're 0-6, but they're not a perfect team at this point. The Lions, last night was a weird game. TJ and I were watching when the Jared Goff touchdown got overturned as slowly as any overturn we've ever seen.
It was like 5 minutes after we were looking like, wait a minute, they have 3 there. What's the problem?
I read the pool report, and they literally, all the officials were like, we had to piece the thing together because Jared Goff, according to the officials, established himself under center as the quarterback and then went in motion. If you establish yourself,
you can't.
Then you have to stop. But Jared Goff said he and the coaches have never heard that rule. He thought as long as you don't go under center, then that's not supposed to be called.
Because all he did was he kind of gave a tap on the rear to the center, and then he rolled out.
Right, so what is the threshold?
I thought was putting your hands under there.
Right.
How far in there do your hands need to be until you are officially a quarterback? That is going to be an interesting conversation between the Lions and the league office through the course of this week. But they're 4-2. I think we look at them as a dangerous team.
Yeah.
The Rams at 4-2, they could be 6-0. They've had a couple games get away from them.
Yep.
And then you got Seattle, the team that nobody talks about, but one that I don't want to see right now. I don't want to see the Seahawks in the playoffs. They went down to the wire with the 49ers, obviously. They had another tough loss along the way. But the Jaguars were the fun story, and the Seahawks took it to them a little bit on the road yesterday. Granted, Jacksonville on a short week and all that, but that's a really sound team that Mike McDonald is coaching the heck out of. Sam Darnold has played really well, but for that one interception late against Tampa, we're talking about Sam Darnold potentially as an MVP candidate right now, and we should. That's how well he's playing. If the playoffs began today, and they don't, we are 1/3 of the way through the season. If they did,
do it.
The Vikings would not be in the playoffs. The Commanders would not be in the playoffs. Obviously, the Cowboys would not be in the playoffs.
Dang it.
But I don't know, with the number of situations with those teams above you, I certainly think Jerry Jones can convince himself that we can be buyers, not sellers, and give ourselves a chance. 22 more days, and we shall see.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.